Boys, today we are going to be reacting to worst console launches by PapaMeat. I feel like this is going to be pretty fun. I'm very much into the gaming corner sector in general. I know a bunch of random video game facts, so I feel like I'm going to get a kick out of this. I might know a thing or two, so I feel like I can actually add on as this react goes on. That being said, let us begin. Bye-bye. I love that merch plug. That's literally my favorite merch plug. High key. And we got the PlayStation 2 right there. A classic. You best believe I love that PS2. He even had the sound. And welcome back to PapaMeat.
How you doing?
Here we are. Look at this. Look at this beautiful man. Look at this beautiful man. Yeah, there's been a lot of things. I'm gonna assume PS3's on that list. PS3 is definitely on the list. PS3 was the worst.
You guys remember?
I'm moving my son. I don't want it to be in the way. I was gonna be like, why are you motion screen?
It used to be a big thing where people were like, they're waiting in line to get a what? A PS2? What
Yeah,
is that?
PS2 is
like, yeah, of course.
interesting for me personally.
Well, many gaming consoles have
because of
hype. There are
I remember I had one when I was younger. When we upgraded, I was like, what douche?
Disastrous response. So with that
Let's see.
said,
There's the PlayStation 3 already. I'm trying to think of like, obviously Xbox 360 with the red ring as well. Here we go. Look at, I love that shirt too. Look, I love his backgrounds and stuff. Oh, the pricing. The pricing's definitely like really iffy. We'll see how this goes. I still feel like people are gonna buy it. I have a feeling people are buying this, like regardless.
The Nintendo 2 Switch, I feel
yeah, I'm
like
gonna go ahead and
think the response is, I feel like it's been kind of negative.
There we go.
Well,
I feel like it was too bright.
People are stoked on it. I think people are just like, there's no difference.
I like how he has like a secondary like person to talk to as well. I think that's really nice. I think that's awesome.
I've seen a lot more negative.
Like just the set here is beautiful. I'd have a set if I could, but ooh, the price of all that I'd imagine is very high.
The launch, if it'll be okay, because I don't know if you remember when the Nintendo Switch released.
Yeah, Switch.
There was a bunch of people saying that like it was bugged out, or
was it? I don't remember that. Did that actually happen?
Into its slot and all that stuff. There was like
how do you? I just want to know how you. I've never heard of that. Was it really that bad? Was it really that bad at launch? Could you guys like let me know? Like I actually had no idea. And also, how do you scratch the Switch screen? That's something I'm trying to figure out. Isn't it like plastic? Like obviously the OLED is glass, but I'm pretty sure it has like plastic coating on it. So I don't know how the hell you scratch that. I guess kids be kids, but like for real, I've never heard of these issues. So I mean, granted, I did get mine probably a little bit later, but still, like, somebody explain, because what?
Obviously, no matter what, there's going to be defective first models, but still. But
I never heard of that. But if that happened, that's interesting. It's just a price. It's surprising. It's the same thing with the PS3. The PS3 was too much.
Which, you know,
and then also the pack-in. It's not a pack-in. It should be a pack-in. The Switch 2, like the Switch 2, like manual. The manual is paid essentially.
Like stuff that you should have just happened already. You know, stuff that the Steam Deck has been doing, I guess.
Yeah, I might make myself a bit smaller actually. I think that might be a bit nicer.
Okay, we'll do it. You want a bigger screen? Fine. People were incredibly excited over the games.
It's kind of sausage.
Games like Donkey Kong.
A lot of this is really sausage.
That game looks sick.
Oh,
it does. It looks awesome.
There it is.
Mario Kart World and a brand new Kirby Air Raiders.
Here, this might be a bit better.
Kirby! Yeah,
Kirby Air Raiders is actually really hype. I absolutely love Kirby Air Raid. That was like a banger.
From Software has an exclusive game coming out called
which is really funny. They just it's just Bloodborne. He's gonna say it. It's just Bloodborne. Watch.
I mean, it's Bloodborne 2. That actually looks sick too. Be a little vampire.
Yeah, I called it. It really is. Oh, but they have AK-47s in there. It looks like too, which is interesting. Oh.
You suck them off.
Oh.
I like how From Software, they're like,
you get to suck them off. Just like Kirby.
Just like
Kirby. Yeah. If you're, there's no way, dude. Jokes. Oh, actually, you know what's funny? I actually have something to say about the sponsor. I'll probably skip through the sponsor, but what I will say is I will mention it. I have had it. It was pretty good. It was pretty good. The pricing was a little bit iffy, but it was pretty good. Actually, no. I don't skip it. I feel like he has like an interesting ad.
Childhood one bite at a time.
Magic Spoon is a perfect fit for a variety of
like the VHS, like it actually has effort. Like it's got like a, it's putting effort into it. You know what I mean? And I think that's respectable. I think that's respectable. Like yeah, we're getting advertised to, but I love how like it just looks like old VHS tapes. I feel like it really fits like gaming console failure thing because I'm pretty sure like there's gonna be a lot of old consoles. I wonder if he's gonna say anything obscure or if he's actually just gonna go on and just talk about like the big mainstream things. That's something I'm very interested in because I actually have no idea. But yeah, I've had it. It's pretty good. I haven't had the granola, but I've had like the cereal. I actually kind of messed with it. It truly did actually taste like the counterparts. So I'm gonna be 100 on that. Obviously, I'm not sponsored, but you know. But yeah, I like how he does like this infomercial little thing right here. I think that's really nice. I think that's pretty sick. And he's not lying. I heard a lot of good things about that return policy. There isn't. You just get the refund.
That's all the pros. Okay. Now we get to this is the bad.
There's a lot of cons.
Is the bad side. What started
just pricing. He's gonna talk about the pricing. And then the game's being $80
and $50,
and then 500 if you want the game pack, and the game's $80. So you're saving money, but like right now. And obviously it was like the whole tariff scare and all that stuff. No, Nintendo just doing it because they know they can. That's all I'm gonna say. I can tell you right now, Nintendo's doing it just because they know that they can.
Also, I feel like this is so minuscule in terms of
this is literally the reasoning.
Yeah, but we're gonna need the box that it ships in is gonna be bigger. So
well, the funny thing is that the screens, that technology gets cheaper as time goes on.
Well, hold.
Yeah.
We're like David Nintendo standing behind me.
David Nintendo.
And just for
I don't know why you should say Doug Bowser. That's literally the fact that the dude's name is Doug Bowser. Like the big boy in town, Nintendo of America, Doug Bowser. You got Bowser in his name, bro. Like Bowser next to him, bro.
$50 less and has better hardware specs than the Switch 2. So.
Yeah, but the Switch 2 is probably gonna run better because of the DLSS and stuff as well. Though I'd imagine things are just gonna run better. I don't know how necessarily true that is. It depends what model of Steam Deck you get as well. So
listen, I'm just saying the gamers find a way.
That's yes and no. That's like a yes and no. Obviously, the Switch games are gonna run better on the Steam Deck, but the Switch 2 games, I don't know. We'll have to see. We don't even have the console. Yeah.
Racially charged, dude. Racially charged consumers.
Oh yeah. It's because it's region locked. I think it's just because it's not. I think it's because it's region locked. I think that was the reasoning. I'm pretty sure the region locking was the reason why in Japan the Japanese only Switch is less.
As well.
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that is. If I'm wrong, yell at me. That's fine. But yeah, $80 for that is crazy. But also, I heard that they switched the game cards.
Some are SD cards that only unlock a code.
That's true as well.
Which I hate.
Also, I do want to mention too. So a lot of people were complaining that some games like I know I'm pausing a lot, but people were complaining that Bravely Default was on a game key card, and it's like a couple gigs. So it's like, why is it on game key card? Why is it not physical? Well, apparently Nintendo is also discontinuing very small storage space on the cartridges. So a lot of the games you just have to install like it's a regular disc apparently now, versus just how it was on the Switch 1. You put in the game, play it immediately, like how it used to be in the olden days.
Have a physical copy of something. Nintendo, they're positioning themselves with like cringe
game preservation is definitely dying. It's kind of sad to see Nintendo is actually giving in now as well, because Nintendo is notoriously, because in Japan notoriously loves physical games. So this is a bit sad, I think.
It is. People are like, well,
yeah, look at those prices. Those are genuinely ridiculous.
Why? I mean, Call of Duty.
All of those prices are crazy, bro. They're genuinely wacky prices, bro.
100%. Absurd rumors began to spread.
Yeah. GTA 6
might end up costing $150.
Yeah, see. That's a bit high. That's not true. I feel like that's not true at all. It might hit a hundo. It might hit a hundo if Rockstar. But if Rockstar really wants to send a message, I'll tell you what. If Rockstar really wants to send a message, they will drop that thing for $50. But they're not going to.
$10 a year.
They're not going to. There's no way.
Yeah. Nintendo even revealed a console tech.
Yeah, this was stupid. This is what I was saying earlier. Why is this $10? Why is this $10?
I mean, the demo's going to cost you $10.
This is dumb.
All right, long gone are the days.
Like Reggie Fils-Aimé out here was out here like Wii Sports got to be packing.
Yeah, those are great.
That was the best, dude.
He tried convincing Japan that they should do that for more things. And
when I was younger, my grandpa got it.
Here we go.
And then it came with a demo that had.
Yeah, I remember having demos just from Pizza Hut. I remember the Pizza Hut ones.
Might have been two. Kane, Soul of Kane, or something.
Yeah.
And then also,
the Pizza Hut demo discs were sick.
Medieval.
Great game.
Yeah, that's part is I have an older brother, so he kind of like got me up on a lot of that stuff that I probably wouldn't have done.
Became infuriated with Nintendo for being
drop the price in all of this. I remember that. That was genuinely ridiculous.
Our Japanese heroes are being a bit greedy. They're not like that. They're so kawaii.
Greed.
Why are you doing this? You're not American. Stop.
Yeah.
For example,
yeah,
PS5
it's
got
just a lot of money. That was free, and that's a great game. That was actually really good.
For people living in the U.S., this frustration.
Yeah, they're talking about the tariffs. Yeah, because that was crazy.
Trump announced that tariffs would be placed on.
And people are like, "Whoa, what's it?" Like all the Nintendo fanboys. It's the tariffs. It's the tariffs.
Every other country on Earth, not most, basically all.
That's all I'm
revealed by Nintendo that the $450 price tag would not change. Liars.
Yeah.
The accessories, however, would all receive a price adjustment with potential for further changes
price up,
depending on the market conditions.
Possibly.
And then there's going to be a day where it's like, okay, the console has to come up.
And I know PlayStation raised their prices recently as well, I believe. Oh no,
$90 now too.
Well, yeah, they did everywhere but the U.S. And then Xbox did it in the U.S. as well, which is crazy because nobody's buying an Xbox.
Fans were extremely upset that the voice and video chat features will require an online subscription.
If there's something I've given Nintendo about that is the streaming, like when they showed it off, it did look laggy, so I respect it. Because they actually were honest about that at the very least, that it wasn't going to be very good.
In a matter of hours in the United States.
Yeah, can I just hit spacebar? Okay. I'll just do that from now on then. It's a lot easier.
It's not even the biggest. This is just over speculation of what's going to happen, and people are still.
Yeah, this is like really cool. Again, I feel like I actually have a lot to say on this versus like maybe like the last video I did, because I was actually kind of learning stuff, but now I'm kind of like understand the red ring.
Hardware complications.
The red ring.
I think they all rolled their eyes and they knew exactly what was coming. A giant red light was
I believe that's the overheat one. Each one of them means a different thing. They're just error codes, which is kind of cool.
Crashes, glitches,
but
and hard drive malfunctions. And alongside it,
the old towel trick.
Red ring
of death.
Which is so crazy. I just want to say the red ring
old
of death
towel
is
trick.
Like such a household. It's like literally like Jesus Christ.
It's so funny. It reminds me of like the yellow light of the PlayStation 3. It's rarer, but that did happen as well.
Because kids would be like,
yeah. What do I do?
Ship it back and
yeah, you plug in the Kinect in the original 360. It's the red ring.
This was an error caused by
I learned that myself
hardware components
when I was
leading to startling
younger.
Errors, like piercingly loud sounds coming out of your console.
Yeah, the fact that this happened all the time. Dude, even Snoop Dogg out here. He got that Xbox tracksuit too.
Red Ring of Death would essentially
There's Angry Joe.
You could send it to Microsoft.
Dude, classics.
But there was no guarantee that some error wouldn't happen again.
The fact that the controller's doing it's funny.
Me personally went through 4 of them. Not even joking. I sent 3.
Yeah, I think myself, we had like 3 or 4 as well. Actually,
man, the 4th one finally stuck.
So,
but by the time the 4th one came in, they did the re-updated one to where it had like the touchpad. The
touchpad, I remember that one.
Great. And they were cheaper.
Yeah, that one was fine. The Elite, I think, is what they were called.
Let me tell you that. Other gamers started figuring out how to fix their consoles.
The towel trick is what I was saying.
Methods,
the towel trick. There's the towel trick I was saying.
While it overheated.
That was my brother. He started a business. I'll fix your Xbox 360.
Toothpaste.
So what, did it work? Why?
I mean, it would though. Oh, it would for like a little bit, I think. I see this. Wait, hold up. He did this on purpose. Now I gotta like go back and pause. Watch this.
Did it work?
I forgot like the reasoning, but I remember it did work. It's like same thing. It was like licking batteries. Okay, here we go. I'll just read this. Heating the motherboard to around 200 to 200 C melted the solder, allowing it to flow back into the cracked joints. This restored electrical connectivity, often reviving the console. Okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
I like what temperature was he throwing these bad boys in at? 450 on
nice
oil.
Nice too.
Microsoft responded to the non-stop reports of hardware
but
issues
yeah,
by
extending the warranty. See, I'll say this: they at least are like, okay, hold up, bad thing. Like They at least did this,
an empty
but
box through UPS
they should have fixed this a lot sooner, I think. They should have definitely fixed the red ring issue a lot sooner than it took very long for them
to the curb and like meeting the UPS guy and looking in the back of the UPS
I'd imagine
truck.
I'd imagine they probably stole Xboxes too. I'd imagine too.
You know, Xbox returns.
That's so funny.
When they found out about
That's so funny, dude.
I was just like, basically talked to them like, we need to send this out now, and he's like, well, how much is it gonna cost?
That's not surprising.
Like 1.5 billion.
I know the Nintendo would do Joy-Con repairs.
Skyrim and GTA 5 coming. It'll be
it's not like the first time that bad stuff happened. Joy-Con drift's huge. This was saying 2 years, 3 different versions. Took way too long to fix that issue. Is what I was saying, man.
I'm not gonna put permanently on that actually.
You know what? That might be another reason why the dashboard's also swapped so often. These updates probably like lessened the technical stuff. The baby
having only a 10% death rate.
Yeah, it was the first revision.
Yeah, I was gonna say the normal like.
Like I said, yellow light of death was a thing as well. I remember that one. But it was a lot less.
They're like,
thank God. Thank God.
Resistance, like the Resistance
Fall of Man. I remember that, dude. Resistance was a banger, dude. And I like that. Insomniac, dude. They're making Spider-Man now. Making Spider-Man.
There was also another great failure released by Microsoft around
I did have that though. It was fun. It was cool, but it is a gimmick. It is a gimmick. I'll be straight. It is a gimmick. It was fun to use though for like a bit.
Microsoft just drops the bag so much.
Dragon Ball
they're dying.
in Connect.
They have no exclusives anymore.
Bad.
Well, that's why they just
Trash.
buy up like Bethesda.
Trash.
Buy up game studios. They're just like, so you can still release it over there, but you guys are cool with us, right? And Todd Howard.
Here we go.
Just, like,
all right, let's see. It just works.
I don't know where that came from.
It just works.
I like to imagine that the executives,
I'm telling you right out.
Limp Bizkit.
Meatcanyon's so wild.
It's a band name. It's where like the guys in college.
You can just tell just by listening. This is just set icing. It has nothing to do with the Limp Bizkit game. You know, speaking of which, I do find it crazy that the band's name is Limp Bizkit. Why would they? Why? What? Like. Edgy? Is it just edgy? Because it's kind of sus. I'm just
a cracker first, and whoever finishes last has to eat it.
Yeah,
that's what the Xbox.
I'm gonna go back once again. So if you didn't hear it,
it's where like the guys in college.
If you didn't hear it,
off into a cracker first, and whoever finishes last has to eat it.
Why did they name the band that?
That's what the Xbox execs and Bethesda team do. We're thinking about doing Fallout New Vegas again. We're playing.
Jeez.
Right then and there. Really? Did Oblivion Remaster do well for him?
Oh, huge.
There's
a bunch of pictures going around with it's Giga
Chad,
Todd Howard.
Chad Howard. That's
most
great.
Most toxic.
That's funny too, because like, all they also for that remaster, didn't all they do is like put the assets into like Unreal Engine 5 and just like perfect. like I pretty sure they just basically like somehow did that. And they got all the code working, and I'm sure they had to finagle a little bit, but I kind of like how, for the most part, it is just the old game, but just like with a fresh coat of paint. I think that's really interesting.
They love you as a god, or immediately they're just like, kill that motherfucker. Because I thought
yeah. Todd Howard. It just works. Todd's just a meme. I don't think people actually hate Todd. I just think he's just a meme, dude.
Anyways, the Xbox Kinect
at least to me.
Was a motion sensing device that was released in 2010.
Yeah, it's that PlayStation Move.
Alongside the Xbox 360 for a unique gaming
Connect
experience.
And then there's the PlayStation Move. I think they were trying to.
Like watching.
That happened around the same time.
Is like one of the funniest things.
Dude,
like
that was a fake one too. That was fake too. I forgot who was this. The guy who made. Okay. The guy, I forgot what game this guy made, but this guy made a game and it was just like fake. And that's what this is.
He could tell that Jennifer didn't.
Did he make like Fable or something? I know this guy tried to make like a game where it's like if you win like $1 million or something.
There's no way that's what the experience is going to be like. But
I don't know what I'm talking about. If anybody knows
you can use the Kinect to control games using only your
can think of what I'm thinking, let me know. I know it's something.
Xbox 360 interesting and relevant.
I might actually watch that on the channel. It was an interesting story if I recall. I'll have to find it.
I like how they're just like, we just got.
But I know for a fact that guy's lying. That game never came out.
But at E3 2009, Microsoft unveiled something called Project Milo.
This was fake.
Its capabilities.
This was fake. This never happened.
Suspected to originally be its own game, essentially allowed you to
it's literally, to my understanding, that's a cutscene and she's just reacting to cutscene like it's legit.
Year-old AI child named Milo. It's one of the funniest things ever.
Yeah.
Hi, Milo. How you doing?
Yeah.
Hi, Claire. You okay?
Like, look how fake this is, bro.
You nervous?
Like back in the day, you probably would watch it and be like, "Whoa, no way!" It's like, "Hey, you Pikachu," but instead of Pikachu, it's a kid.
Raising a child
like,
is what it was trying.
Yeah,
is what Project
Sausage.
Milo was.
Sausage.
The developers in charge bit off.
That's his name. Lionhead Studios. Pete. Yeah. This guy lies a lot when it comes to his games.
Way more than they could chew, making it increasingly difficult to convince Microsoft that the idea was worth prioritizing, foreshadowing the future.
That never came out, and he tried to do a couple other things that never came out. Lionhead was Fable, right? Am I tripping? Well, it's a little research. Lionhead Studios Fable. A little research. Yep, it was. Okay, that's what I thought. So I thought it was the Fable guy. Dude, I'm a genius.
Billions of Kinects were purchased, but the games released at launch to utilize the controller were incredibly lackluster. I'm pretty sure there's one that was
just click in. Nice.
Where you literally just do this.
Yeah, I played that. It was okay. I mean, that stuff was okay. I mean, as a kid, it was fun. But I'd imagine as an adult, it's probably kind of trash. But I had the Kinect when I was a kid, so it was just kind of like the Wii. To me, it was like the Wii, but cooler. It was like, ooh. But I remember playing some of these things, which is dumb.
That's also some like shit where I think
that was like the online only thing that they tried to do for the Xbox One.
When the Xbox
Don
first
Matrick.
came out, they realized that the
I'm guaranteed he's going to talk about the Xbox One failure and talk about Don Matrick.
It's always on.
Oh, we have a console for you. It's called the 360.
So people are just like, "Oh, you're going to spy on me."
Speaking which, that's 100% what. That's 100% what Nintendo did. Oh, we have something. It's called the Switch One. Like what? Anyways, this is my opinion and not a statement of fact.
Microsoft was definitely doing that. This received a ton.
Spy on me in my home.
Yes.
Oh, they're about to connect spying on people. That's why that pop-up happened.
Who had no interest.
That's so funny.
On top of fear that the device was recording people for the purpose of targeted advertising, which it was. It definitely was. Microsoft.
Yep. Totally not his opinion. Totally real.
Removing the need to have the Kinect operating at all times.
Yeah. Don Matrick. You know what's funny actually? I remember watching this presentation at school. I'm just gonna be honest here. Did anybody else do that? Like I had it on. I remember. I think they showed like, oh, you could watch TV. You could do this. You could do that. It was dumb. There's Don Matrick. There's the guy.
Dedicated parts for it. And by 2017, the Kinect was discontinued completely. Which I think the peak of the Kinect was
all that marketing for what?
Video that you used the
the Han Solo. I'm Han Solo. Han Solo.
That was
Han Solo.
I'm pretty sure the absolute
I remember that.
Was they used it in
Paranormal Activity to show the little dots.
I don't know. Instead, you just had people clowning on you the whole time.
Yeah, high key.
Was a complete failure for
it was just like a gimmick, like a huge gimmick.
Life when it started to be used
but you could use it.
Scanning motion tracking.
Yeah, you could do that. Yeah. I was gonna say, technically, if you have a Kinect and you have a VR headset, you can use it for full body tracking, which I think it's cool that it does have new life. Like, it's still kind of like, but if you got like $5 or something, you could probably find one like easily and just like, hey, I want a cheap solution. There you go.
And even CT scanning in hospitals. I love it. It's just like the laser is so powerful that they're just like, let's just.
If it works, it works. I mean,
be in a riverboat, just give it to me. We can like actually help.
I think that's cool. I mean, the fact that it actually was helpful, I think that's really sick. That's nice.
My favorite failed console of all time. Of course, I'm talking about
the Ouya.
One of the funniest Kickstarter.
You know what's funny? Wasn't that like $50? And they actually had like some decent games or whatever, but just like nobody bought it. Oh no!
One of the funniest CEOs to overhype.
Yeah.
My favorite clip is that one where it's the.
It's crazy though. I thought okay, maybe there's a bit more. Oh yeah, I remember Crowcat.
But I just love the part.
Oh, his video was sourced from this channel. Oh really? I guess that makes sense. He does like a lot of meme edits, and I think that's really nice. I love that stuff.
Our controller has a touchpad. You're not gonna find that somewhere else.
That makes sense though. He does all the meme edits for E3 and all that stuff, so that makes sense that he would have all these. It's probably from his Ouya video. That's true.
It's awesome. The Ouya was a big deal back in 2013.
He's just like,
it was one of the more popular types of console that wasn't just tied to the big three: Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo.
I mean, again, I heard that it works. It worked fine.
takes
the most part. I think people used it for like Raspberry Pi or whatever. I'm pretty sure like it's decently powerful for what it was at the time. I think people used it just to like. I'm pretty sure people just hacked it when they did have it, if even.
To major publishers. It was also,
in fact, I think Charlie uses it as a moist critical. I think he uses it as like an ice cup or something. Somebody uses it as like a cup or like a coaster. I know that.
The Kickstarter video boasted a console that uses Android open source technology.
Yeah. So it's like literally just Android open source, so it's easy to jailbreak and hack.
Jump the same hurdles as you would go.
Which is kind of bad because I'm pretty sure they had like a subscription service of some sort as well for their games. So
going through established company, right? So you could just put it on
guess
the
they weren't really thinking
like, pitch the game or get funding from a game studio, blah blah blah, all this stuff. You could just make it and put it right on. Because I think a lot of indie developers, you have to like make a deal and there's like exclusivity stuff. Like,
it was pretty free reign platform, if I recall.
Game development,
like to my understanding, it was pretty free.
I think Steam, they have a new program where you just pay $100, but before
to put the game in,
you still had to go through like a process.
Yeah. The green light. That's right. They discontinued green light.
Another YouTube video.
Yeah, actually, I think that's a really good thing that Steam does. Pay $100 because it really just discourages a bunch of shovelware, which what Ouya became, just a shovelware machine. In fact, a lot of games on like Xbox, PlayStation, Switch are now just shovelware or like bootlegs of existing games that are trying to trick the consumer. It's trash.
Package.
Within 1 month on Kickstarter, the Ouya was backed by 63,000 people and made around $8.6
That's a lot of money.
But that wasn't all.
And for
they
what?
eventually got $15 million in venture capital funding as well. In total, they were looking at $25
Who'd you give the money to?
In total funding.
What'd they do with it?
The Ouya, to make
That's
the
nuts.
dream. To make the
That's
Ouya
actually
happen.
crazy and big failure. Concord before Concord.
Put up a picture of an Ouya tattoo if you have it.
Couldn't find anything. Yeah, of course nobody has some fucking
Would you rather have like a
Ouya
full
savers preserving the console. Yeah.
neck and shoulder?
Yeah,
like
they make new
90s
games for it. That makes sense.
tattoo, Or would you rather have just a tattoo?
Like I said,
I think I do.
like for what it is, I know it's not like actually that garbage, like price wise and stuff. Like it's just
Ouya was aiming to release later that year for only $99.
Oh, it's 99. But I think
crazy.
they, if I recall, they probably slashed price because I remember it being 50 at some point.
Julia Ehrman seemed to disappoint attendees by not giving detailed answers to a lot of the questions or just sounding ignorant about the current gaming space.
That's so funny.
I love this interview.
She don't know. She don't know that how easily that was hackable and stuff. I'd imagine.
Our DoorDash people, right? But
I mean, especially back then, I feel like that wasn't much of like a thing that people knew about. Like J-tagging was obviously a thing on the 360, but
old E3 clips and like people.
Oh no! I see this and I just get flashbacks.
Actually go up on a stage and talk about it. That's all gone. So unfortunate. Because you get golden moments. Like
what was that? Like
What's
prank versus prank or whatever.
Amount of
Dedicated wham. I love this kid. It's so. I gotta say, it's so endearing. Is that not endearing? Is this not an endearing clip? He just want to make a server for his friends. I think that's really nice. And then they're trying to be so nice and
I miss you.
You
At
know.
one point, Urban asked how many.
You know what? You know who this is? This is him. This is Meatcanyon. They're the one and the same. Look at you could just tell. You could tell. Boom, 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 boom. Easy.
I miss you. At one point,
He misses
Urban
his younger
asked how many
self.
consoles
That's
were
what he's
sold,
trying
and
to
she simply repeats,
say.
a lot. She doesn't just say it like this. She does a lot. And he does. You're not.
Oh
gonna
my
get this
gosh,
specific
bro.
number. She does.
Here we go.
How many have you sold?
A lot.
Can you give me a?
She has no idea how much they sold.
You're not gonna tell me a
No, I'm not.
To go along
'Cause she
with their
doesn't
mission
know.
to disrupt the gaming industry,
Ouya
they hosted
Park.
an unofficial Ouya booth across the street from
Oh,
E3
jeez.
to promote its
Across the street.
which is
Is
just
that
so
even
cringe.
allowed?
You want to go to the Ouya booth? No. In
Like,
response, E3 organizers
that's what I'm
began
saying.
renting out spaces around the parking lot that Ouya would be operating in.
That's so
They
funny.
then parked loads of
That's pretty
semi-trucks
petty.
all over so they would block the public
But
from seeing
that's what I'm
the
saying.
booth, which is just so petty.
That's actually okay. It was petty. Yeah, no, that's messed up though, dude. You gotta pay for the booth at E3, and then anyway, rip E3. Gone too soon. Not really. I don't know. Honestly, let's be real here. You know why E3 got discontinued. You know why E3 is no more. It's not because of COVID, like some people. It's not because of the cough. It's obviously because people realized it could be like Nintendo Directs are a thing. So they're like, dude, I could just play the trailer on my own YouTube channel, or I could like do like my own little direct, which is what everybody did instead.
It's like the thing is $30 million in funding, and it's like you are dealing with trillions of dollars.
They could have easily, they could have easily paid for the for the booth at E3 with all that money, but. Who knows what they did with it? What did they do with that money?
In front of the trucks for more Ouya advertisements, and E3 even called the police to have.
Yeah, I was gonna say, why didn't they just do that?
Was unsuccessful. How petty, dude. Honestly, Ermin kind of
took
him around right there, didn't she? She big.
It is.
Flashed her beef and she said.
Look, they could have paid for it, but you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it more, that's kind of based.
Mine's bigger.
It's a little cringe, but it's kind of based. It's pretty based. You can't tell me that wasn't based. They just did.
Okay. When the consoles finally delivered to customers and tech reviewers, it was immediately met with an underwhelming
revolution. Does it say the revolution?
Like, really
wasn't that the code name for the Wii?
I know people were shitting on the games because they were all just like.
Well, yeah, weren't they just basically like indie stuff? Like I know there were like actual games on there though, from what I understand. Yeah, they're probably all plasticky. They're definitely plasticky.
The had slowly lost hype and grinded to a halt. They had only sold.
Yeah, wasn't it like Shovel Knight on there or something? Like I swear they actually put games on there, but
services were all shut down in 2019.
Again, a lot of it was just shovelware. Like it was hard to actually find the good games or like the games that were games. No.
What if you could you just be like, can I just buy the server? So I can play my Ouya forever.
That's so funny.
If they were like, we'll sell it to you, I'd be like,
how much would that cost, bro?
Give the man the server.
Give it to him.
The next one we're going to talk about is
the Google Stadia. I remember the Stadia. Dude, I remember I got into the playtest for the Stadia, dude. I played, was it Assassin's Creed Odyssey on stream with the Stadia. I was like, hey, yo, it actually worked really well, surprisingly. I didn't really feel much latency or anything. It's kind of... Oh, wait, hold up. Nope, this isn't it. Hold on. Ah, dang it. I don't think it's here. I actually have a Stadia controller. I thought this was it. No, this was an Xbox controller.
Gaming flops in recent history, and I'm talking
my bad.
Google
I was gonna pull up the Stadia controller to show it because I remember YouTube also were giving out Google Stadias for free with the Google Chromecast, like an Ultra. And that's why I have the Stadia controller. And then I did try it at here at home. Yikes.
Stadia? I know you probably.
The playtest was great because I don't think many people were playing it, but after that, it really wasn't. The fact you have to rebuy your games and it doesn't connect to any other storefront is kind of trash. Markiplier loved it though.
2019, and it promised users that it would be able
to look that up.
The newest AAA titles in 4K 60.
Whatever happened to that guy too? I know he's a comedian. Does he still do stuff? I haven't seen him in a while, dude.
That sounds made up.
Was that Reggie?
Even my ass.
Reggie? I think his name was Reggie. Was it Watts?
Google was so
I know he did a bunch of music stuff.
Stadia is more powerful than the PS4 and the
I think
Xbox
that was his name.
One combined. With the financial backing of Google,
it's Google, so of course it's gonna have a lot of money and stuff.
People truly thought that this would be a major step forward.
Yeah, but no, it's just cloud gaming itself just isn't very exciting. Still isn't. Yeah, so apparently I got that value for free. I got this for free through YouTube, which was hilarious, and I think that's really cool.
Chromecast to run the service. The service itself was $10.
I used the Chromecast though.
You would pay full price for games on top of an indefinite subscription.
Thanks for the Chromecast.
Not only do you pay the price of the game, but every month you're also tacking on top. Which $10, that adds up, dude.
That does add up a lot.
Not even just like
for sure.
If you cancel it, you never play your game again.
Yeah.
Never. When the service launched, things started to get very bad.
Yeah.
Very quickly.
Oh, it's showing the latency.
Not only was there a lack of good
There's Gene Fark with the latency.
Loads of connectivity and latency
that's funny.
What?
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. When I did the play test, when it was like just me, it was fine. It was great. But when it actually came out, it was kind of. I think towards the end it got better, but that's probably because there's less people playing it.
Where the wealthy read. I'm a wealthy man, and I play Stadia. Even upload a video showing how often cutscenes stutter. Roll it.
That's so sad. Also, playing a fighting game seems like the worst idea for this.
Missing, like the true 4K gameplay or streaming directly to
YouTube. You can't do that.
Releasing third-party games, but the spark had been dying down for a while.
Yeah.
To the point where Google shut down its service.
That looks so bad. Whatever computer they're using was definitely ruined.
And not from Google, including people in the middle of
There's no way people actually got tattoos.
So like they're like, yeah, it shut down. They're like, what? They're all programmed.
But my tattoo
suck, dude. Well, at least we
my tattoo. My tattoo.
Luckily, everyone who purchased Stadia,
yeah, did they all get refunds? I think they all got refunds.
Some people swore
which I thought was kind of hype.
Unable to play
I got to give it to Google for doing that. That's actually really nice of them. They didn't have to. They could have just pocketed all that.
Talk about an older and much more bizarre console launch. The Nintendo.
I know a lot of. I know some companies. I know some companies that would have done that. Also, Virtual Boy is crazy. That's a crazy pickup. I feel like this is like a deep cut.
Just perked up.
This is a deep cut, bro.
Early attempt in virtual
Red, what was it? Red and black, like VR headset. VR headset.
In the space. According to the original New York
I know
Times
people's
article,
eyes were dying.
Virtual Boy game, a user must look.
Yeah, like hold up, I'm gonna move. Actually, wait. Hold up. I got this. Watch this. Boom, magic. Yeah, so that's what it looked like. Magic, dude, that was magic.
Directly in the two miniature displays, the
but yeah,
stereoscopic images created by arrays of
literally this is kind of like a 3DS before 3DS. So obviously Nintendo was messing with like 3D stuff back in the day, which is nice. I think that's cool. But yeah, red's not a good color.
There were blaring criticisms to be made as soon as it was released.
I think it's neat that they tried, but that controller looks horrendous as well.
Little did they know the future was going to be
much more. You can't see anybody around you.
And faces into a machine to play on their own. The games themselves didn't really utilize the 3D
no
effect,
bueno.
Just became a novelty that required a cumbersome piece of hardware.
Everybody would play the 3DS with the 3D effect like once and then stop. This is 3D all the time. So, yeah. Gimmick done. Can I turn this off? No.
The red LEDs used were vital in order to make a console affordable, but it was an incredibly unappealing.
It was expensive, and look at that! Look at that, dude! That's Street Fighter, and just
People reported that they were getting motion sick. From
that's crazy. They had Street Fighter 2 on there.
Legitimate fear that children
that's
under
nuts.
7 would develop a lazy eye.
Yeah,
children
under 7.
That's awesome. And in 1990,
yeah, back then they didn't even know about like VR stuff. Like nobody under the age of 13, of 13 could even use VR.
Cost $180 and was quickly lowered to $160.
This is so sad.
$99 after its release in response to poor sales. Only 770,000 were sold.
No.
And the negative response pushed Nintendo to discontinue the product after 6
They did immediately,
months.
pretty much.
A unique type of console failure.
I have heard stories of people getting them though and going, "Oh no!"
Like many celebrities do.
You could have one now.
I feel like every celebrity
it's like vintage.
has alcohol nowadays.
That's facts.
Too much gin.
That's facts. Most celebrities do have alcohols. And I gotta say, how do they taste? Gross.
Mostly tequila and gin. That's the big thing. But how about
that's not a lie. I know The Rock does. Oh, the Soldier. What? They know where they're talking about the Soldier console, dude. I know that Review Tech USA had a huge beef with Soldier Boy. Apparently,
he tried doing Soldier Game. How did he not call it Soldier Boy?
Did he get like sued and stuff because he was just selling like drop? He was just drop shipping, wasn't he?
In 2018, the known rapper Soldier Boy
because it was just a bunch of ROMs.
A line of gaming consoles.
Like you can't do that
for $99, and one for television. Sold for $149.
Yeah, you can't just sell bootleg games, bro.
He took to Twitter to announce that he had plans to start an esports team and further develop his tech.
Yeah, esports with this Mario ROM.
Man, with some of these entrepreneurial ideas.
Dude, he tried, but
people discovered that it was a cheap
emulation box. Exactly.
A shit ton of popular games,
and that's way too much price too. 150. It's just drop ship, bro.
They bought something off AliExpress, I think.
And then just drop shipped it.
It was like a template. The hardware was
wild.
In China.
To the first person to purchase my console, you just brought tears to my eyes. Tears of joy. Thank you so much for your support. I promise to continue my tech company and evolve it in the gaming world. I'm just a kid with a dream. Shrug. I'm not hitting spacebar.
And was an insane markup. Pretty much, he just saw this thing. It's like, oh, this is like.
That's so funny that he says that.
These gimmicks still today of like, oh, like this has every Nintendo game in it. Whatever.
No, I mean, it's the best console ever. I respect it. The greatest of all time, obviously. There's the lawsuit. Nintendo lawsuit. There's all the ROMs. You can't sell.
For those who thought his career in gaming was over, in 2021,
cheater.
to announce that the Soldier Game console,
TRDR
Pocket, is in development on his official Twitter.
What's that stand for?
Building a new console from scratch. All new design.
Building. New design.
Let's make history. And on a podcast,
yeah, he's doing it some more and more.
They've partnered up with
which is nuts
to sell the handheld in all the stores. This one includes the use of AI.
Did this stuff ever come out though? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Gaming device, and reviewers were disappointed to discover that it was yet again
another emulation. Also, I like how it has like the Nintendo Switch analog stick on there. Like you see that?
Since 2023,
that's straight up just Nintendo Switch analog stick, bro.
Or further gaming.
Yeah, again, it's just more ROMs and stuff.
It's fascinating to see how
Just
many
nuts.
promising game ventures.
This is interesting though. You didn't talk about the PlayStation 3 or like you know, $600 and all that stuff. Like that was like a big thing that was nuts. And I don't know, a bunch of fanboys are just like going crazy now.
And it just leads you to believe that
talking about that or like the Don Matrick situation is pretty nuts. Because Xbox One failed, PlayStation 3 failed, like all that stuff just flip flopped. I don't know, maybe I'll find something on Console Wars because that's really interesting to me.
We appreciate you.
Those are pretty good.
Happy gaming, guys.
Happy gaming.
And girls. And they, thems. Happy gaming,
thank you.
everybody.
Thank you for all those things down there. Nice. Thank you, PapaMeat.
Claim that they would start developing their own exclusive.
Let's see what we got. Oh, it's just bloopers. He can't speak.
Is fun.
There's Reggie. Anyways, again, PapaMeat. PapaMeat. Once again, everybody.
Why bother?
Mm-hmm.
If it's not a battle.
Thank Reggie Fils-Aimé, dude. I love Reggie. Reggie's the goat. Reggie's the goat. Anyways, here's a sneak peek of what the next video might be. Regardless, that was PapaMeat on the worst console launches. I feel like I have a lot more to say when it comes to stuff like, again, PS3 could have been noted. The Xbox One could have been noted. But again, I guess those are pretty well known. Maybe I'll find something on the Console Wars. I think that was really cool and really fun. Talk about, apparently knowledgeable. Maybe I could find some trivia or whatever. I think it's a lot of fun. I think this is really cool. I have a lot of personal stories when it comes to gaming and all these old consoles and stuff. So, hey, if you want to see more, let me know down below.